particular equation for linear equations. We went over this in class today, but some of you guys seemed very lost and confused. And so I wanted to make you a video so you can hit pause whenever you want. You can hit pause, you can rewind it, you can fast forward it, you can do whatever you want with the video. Just don't make a meme of me. It's out of the question. Okay, so finding a particular equation of a linear function. So we have a function here and we have 2 points. And for linears, that's all you need. If you have 2 points, you can find the equation that's going to map this. So the first thing that you need to remember is, what is the general formula for a linear equation? Well, that's ax plus b equals y. These points are really awesome because those give you your x's and your y's. And if you have your x's and your y's, you can solve for the other parts of this equation. So we're going to set up a system of 2 equations, and we're going to plug in x and y of those points into here. So a system is always held with this bracket. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this first point. My x value is 2, my y value is 1, and I'm going to plug those in here. I don't know what a and b are. That's what I'm solving for, but I know x and y. So I'm going to have 2a plus b equals 1. 2 is the x, 1 is the y. That's one of my equations. In order to solve this, I need a second equation. And look at this, woohoo! I have another point. I can make another equation. So I'm going to take my x and I'm going to take my y and I'm going to plug them in and I'm going to make another equation. So this becomes 5a plus b, because I still don't know what a or b are, equals 7. Now, if you think back to Algebra 1, this should look familiar. You can solve this. You can solve this using elimination. You can solve this using substitution, or you could graph it and solve it. I'm going to show you a different way. And the reason why I'm showing you this other way is because it gets more complicated. And if you have this other way, then it makes things easier. So we're going to make a matrix. The matrix comes from the coefficients and the solution. So this matrix, we're going to have 1, 2, 3 columns and 2 rows. 2 rows because we have 2 equations. 3 columns because there's 3 different things here. So the matrix is going to look like this. 2 is my coefficient for A. 1 is my coefficient from B, because 1 times B just equals B. And that equals 1. Now I'm going to do the same thing for my second equation. My coefficient for A is 5. My coefficient for B is 1. My coefficient here is 7, because that's the answer. There's my matrix. Now my calculator can solve this. My calculator is going to solve it using something called RREF. Row, reduction. I don't remember what the E is. It's a weird word like epsilon. Something. I looked it up for you and I forgot. But essentially this just means it's going to solve it. And it's going to tell me what A and B equal. Alright, so let's look at our calculator. So, in your calculator, right here it says matrix. In order to enable that, hit second, and then click on this inverse of x, and that's going to bring you into matrix. Now, our menu here has names, math, and edit. In order to input a new matrix, you need to slide over to edit. Now, it doesn't matter which one you go into, but you need to select one to edit. So I'm just going to go into A. Up here it says this is a 1 by 1 matrix. It's always going to do rows first and then columns. If we remember our equations, we know that we had 2 different equations and we had 3 different things we were inputting per equation. 3 by 2. Now I'm just going to input the numbers that we already wrote down. So 2 1, 1, 5, 1, 7. I'm going to double check this, make sure this does look like the matrix that I had. It does. Now I need to quit. So I hit the second button in mode, and that brought me back to my normal screen. In order to solve this equation, now I'm going to go back into my matrix menu, so second and that x inverse, and now I'm going to do some math on it. We're going to slide all the way down to where we find R, R, E, F, right here. This is going to do a row reduction. It's going to solve this for us. I'm going to click on my matrix menu one more time, and I'm going to import this matrix. Here's my solution, 2, -3. So what that told me is that A equals 2 and B equals -3. Now I can plug this back into the original equation, and that is my particular solution. So A is 2, so I have 2x. B is -3 minus 3 equals y. There is my particular solution. And that's how you do it using matrices.